Welcome back, everybody. We are across Nevada on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network, across Canada on the Game Plus TV network, and be part of the team. Grab your RP Show merch now at rodpeterson.com. Click on RP Store. That's all you got to do. Snowman in the morning, WQVZ Mission Radio joining us. What's up, Snowman? Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Oh man, one of my best friends, Rod Peterson. It's always a pleasure to have you. Always a pleasure to be on with you.
Merry Christmas, Snowman. Same to you, of course, and thanks for joining us. You're making your Nevada television debut, I think, today. Am I right in that?
Yeah, I am. Yes,
Okay, good. All right. Well, let's listen. You're a Blackhawks guy. Before
I
we
am.
get to the NFL, yeah. I think it would be pretty simple to if I asked you who's the face. Our poll question for EMJ Marketing: who's the face of the NHL right now? What would you say? Bedard, McDavid, McKinnon, or other?
It's number 98, Connor Bedard. That's
Woo!
the person that they are going to push. I mean, I love Connor McDavid and what he's done with everything that he has done so far, including 2 Stanley Cup final, but it's the same situation with that they had with Jonathan Toews. No one knew who Jonathan Toews was. Although in this situation, a lot of folks, yourself included, are very familiar with who Connor Bedard is and what he did before he got drafted by the Blackhawks. So the face of the league should be Connor Bedard.
I love it. Can I write that down as today's meme? The face
Yep,
of the league should be okay.
Connor
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, the
Bedard.
Blackhawks, they've been through their tough times since they won those 3 cups. But what I really respect about them is they really respect Connor Bedard's history with the Regina Pats. As the guy that spent so many years in junior hockey, I love to see an NHL team honor where their players came from. And they've done a really good job of that with the Regina Pats and Connor Bedard. But the real reason you're here, and for our Nevada viewers, our Game Plus TV viewers know this, the Snowman is an elite broadcaster and NFL commentator. There's no doubt. And you're joining us from Indy today, right? That's where you're
Yep,
hanging your
I
hat
am
these
in.
days?
Yep, I am south of Indianapolis. That's where I had my cancer surgery to beat cancer. Um, that's why I'm here. That's why we moved back up here from North Carolina because the folks at uh, Indiana Cancer Center gave us a chance. I met the fellow who saved my life. So that's why we're here.
Love it. Love to hear. Well, are the Colts going to beat the Seahawks ass like you beat cancer with Philip Rivers or otherwise? Like, is he saving the season?
I would love to think that they would be smart enough to put the ball in Riley Leonard's hands because he's more mobile, but Philip Rivers is familiar with the Colts offense. And if they learn to throw the football effectively, they will beat Seattle. I got confidence that they can beat Seattle. But there's a fellow by the name of Jonathan Taylor who also needs to get
Mm-hmm.
a lot of touches. It's going to be close. And Seattle's going to throw everything at them, knowing their quarterback situation, knowing they've lost Daniel Jones for the season. But I think the Colts will give him a challenge, and I think the Colts can sneak out a victory in Seattle.
I'm guessing there's a lot of Colts fans across Nevada. Like I'm not sure. There's a lot of people from everywhere living in Las Vegas, but it
Hmm.
feels to me like ever since Peyton Manning left town, it hasn't been easy for the Colts. Have I read that right?
You've heard that absolutely correct. They had the next one in line, and Andrew Luck, when they drafted him out of Stanford, they couldn't protect him. More to the point, they didn't protect him. What's the first thing you have to do when you have a quarterback with the talent of a Peyton Manning or a Joe Montana or an Andrew Luck or Steve Young? You put a line in front of him. That's what the Bears are learning the hard way with Caleb Williams. There isn't a line in front of him. You don't put a line in front of him, you're going to have the Andrew Luck situation happen.
I'm reading the viewers' comments as they come in. John in Edmonton writes in. He says, "Congrats on beating cancer, Snowman." Feel like Randy Moss
Thank
here
you.
ringing the bell. Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
You're on the winning
Thank
team.
you.
You're looking very healthy, by the way. Are you feeling healthy?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling
Good.
good. Getting rid of a lot of bad eating habits. Jody and I have been working on that for a while. Drinking a lot more water now. If I have something sweet, it's probably going to be juice or sweet tea or something like that. But yeah, just cleaning up a lot of bad habits.
Oh, Snowman, you're sweet enough. Well, to other NFL news from outside the wonderful state of Indiana. I don't know that we'll cross on to college football talk here, but maybe we will. I know you can talk about a variety of things.
Mhm.
What was your Super Bowl matchup going into the year? Do you remember? And if so, is it still intact?
Well, people think I'm crazy when I made this pick, but my initial Super Bowl pick was 49ers Colts at the top of the year.
Mm.
In a way, it is still intact because the most resilient team in the NFL right now is the San Francisco 49ers. As much as they have been beat up, they have been injured. They lost Bosa. Fred Warner's gone. They just put a couple of offensive linemen on IR. Michael Williams, their outstanding defensive end, is on IR. Do you realize they're only a half game out of the lead in the
Oh,
NFC
yeah.
West? And they're only a half game out, crazy as this sounds, of grabbing the number one seed.
So, why do you think the pundits were so quick to discredit the 49ers so quickly after they were in the Super Bowl just a couple of years ago?
Oh, that's easy. Injuries. Injuries knocked the 49ers down, and the lamestream media don't expect them to get back up. And they're back up, and they're 9-4 going into what is going to be probably an easy win because they face the Tennessee Titans. And we all know, those of us who really watch the games and look at the games, and I know you're one of them, and the folks in the chat that watch the games, they know this is probably going to be an easy week for San Francisco. And it could come down to what happened in 2019 when the Seahawks and the 49ers got together to decide the West. It could come down to that again. Of course, you got the Los Angeles Rams in the way. Puka Nacua is one of my favorite receivers. Matthew Stafford continues to defy Father Time with what he's doing. It could come down to Seattle, San Francisco to decide the West, and it could come down to the Rams and 49ers to decide the NFC. We don't know. But the 49ers, to me, are in the way of a lot of teams that other folks have picked to go to the Super Bowl. And they won't put the 49ers in the conversation because they don't want to put the 49ers in the conversation, number one. And number two, the Niners are proving you knock us down, we're getting back up. And they're back up.
I wonder how many people had the NFC West as being the toughest division in the NFL this year. Not too many, I don't think, but
No,
they very
not too
clearly
many.
are. Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes in. He says, "Snowman, you're looking great." I don't know if you remember a coach we had in Saskatchewan by the name of Ken Miller. He had a cancer battle. And I
Mhm.
said, "Kenny, how's your life changed since you got cancer?" And he goes, "I got a lot better looking." Everybody I saw said, "You look great, Kenny. You look great, Kenny." And he beat it too, Snowman. The biggest thing is your attitude. Tony from Cochrane, Alberta writes in and he says, "Hey, Rod, minus 27 in Cochrane this morning. I bet you're glad you're back in Florida. Love that jersey behind you. Trust me, I'm glad that I'm back in Florida. I love the Panthers jersey as well. To me, this is the third nicest jersey in the NHL behind the Blackhawks Reds, the LA
Yes.
Kings Golds, and
Mhm.
these Panthers baby blues. What's your cat's name, Snowman?
This is Winnie. This is the leader of
Does
the
Winnie
bunch.
does Winnie want to get on the air?
Winnie's been on. You know how many times Winnie has hopped in my lap on the air when I do my morning show? I mean, I got Winnie, then I got Pumpkin, and then I got Binks, and of course I have my dog Lucy. So Winnie just wanted some attention. She always like hops in the chair with me.
What does producer Corey say? The realest show on television. The
Oh
RP
yeah,
show. Welcome aboard, Snowman. You fit right in.
oh yeah.
AB
And,
Media. Go
oh, I
ahead.
know him. I know AB Media, very very dear friend of mine up in Indy. He and I have been friends for a while. But I remember when I discovered your show and I immediately reached out to you and say, "Hey, why don't you come on my show for an interview?" And we've been friends since.
Yeah. And I put you on
Yep,
immediately too. Didn't you say you discovered our show in the lunchroom
I
at
did.
your work or
I was
something?
at work. I was at work in the lunchroom. I had a 15-minute break. I put the headphones in and I discovered your show and I said, "Oh, this guy's cool. I got to reach out to him."
Clearly not a great judge of character, Snowman. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Yeah, so AB Media is checked in from Indianapolis, but let me walk this back for a sec. Tony from Cochrane is a Browns fan, which we
Uh-oh.
don't have time to unpack the mental complexities that go with that. But
No,
I read a Week 15 preview for the NFL this morning that said Shadur Sanders has made the Browns watchable. You agree with that?
no, 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 I don't. I'm not buying the hype of Shador Sanders. Period. They tried to sell me that when he was at Jackson State. They tried to sell me that when he was at Colorado. And here's the problem why I'm not buying Shador Sanders. He hasn't been coached until now. And now he's got to learn to play the game and learn to get the fundamentals down. And until he gets the fundamentals down, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, it's going to take a while. I just
Yeah,
feel
it is.
like, hey, we've been watching this game a long time. There's no doubt he has the physical tools, and we're pretty sure he has
Yes.
the confidence. Like I
Mhm.
feel like he's got everything he needs.
He needs the right coach and he needs an offensive line in front. There's no denying he's got the physical skills. No denying that whatsoever. But he doesn't have
Hmm?
the fundamental skills like throwing a pass on 3rd and 6 only 5 yards. And you lead your receiver to not get the first down. The footwork is what gets it for me.
Hmm.
He's got to work on his footwork, and I'm talking laterally. Because if you notice, whenever he drops back to pass and there's a blitz in front of him, he runs backwards. If you run laterally and climb the pocket a little bit, you get a pass away, even if it's an incompletion. Got to get the fundamentals down.
How do you feel about his attitude?
He's got to change it now that he has a coach. Now that he
You're
has a
talking about
coach, he's
you're
into his
talking about
coach.
Kevin Stefanski?
I'm talking exactly about Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah.
And even that may
Okay.
change at the end of this, and even that may change at the end of the season because of the stupid decision Stefanski made to take Shador out on a 2-point conversion. And you alert Tennessee, we got a trick play coming because they don't see Shador Sanders. If you do anything, if you do nothing else, you put Shador Sanders in and let him run the trick play on a 2-point conversion. You ruined his day, 364 yards and 4 touchdowns, and yet he is out on the most important play of the game.
Carlos in Indiana writes in and says, "This show demonstrates time and again why it's one of the best out there." I don't even know why he says that. Thank you. I don't know why anybody would tune in daily, but here we are, 1,637 episodes in and growing and growing. I don't get it.
and getting
But
big
it's
and
thanks.
getting bigger and
Yeah,
getting bigger.
yeah. It's thanks to people like the Snowman. Um, I was going to ask you about the Cowboys, but I don't want to ruin my day. Maybe we'll come back. Maybe we'll come back on the NFL. But you're sitting
We'll
there in
circle.
Indiana. Yeah,
Hmm.
you're sitting there in Indiana. I got to ask you about Notre Dame because who the heck must have been on this show? I was saying all of America felt bad for FSU 2 years, 3 years, whenever the last year of the 4-team playoff was.
Hmm.
Everybody in America felt bad for the Seminoles. And now I feel everybody in America hates Notre Dame because of their whining, of being snubbed on the weekend. But you're sitting there in Indiana. What's it like?
Hmm. Well, if Notre Dame had taken care of business against Miami and against Texas A&M, then there
Thank
wouldn't
you.
be a problem.
Thank you.
You lost your season when they could have recovered after the loss to Miami. Okay. You play Miami, you play them tough in Miami. You lost your season when you allowed Texas A&M to roar back from 13 down and walk off on you in 9 minutes. Oops.
Well, I think we've realized in sports now, and unfortunately, life, nobody wants to look in the mirror. Notre Dame doesn't want to look in the
Mm-mm.
mirror,
Nope.
right? They just want to point fingers at everybody else as to why they're going to be watching. And what about the decision to not play a bowl game? That is as big a news, I think, as their snub, to be honest.
You know, I've lived around Notre Dame fans all my life. And every time they get snubbed for a big bowl game, it's always a problem and a conspiracy to them. Dear Notre Dame and Notre Dame fans, you screwed up when you allowed Texas A&M to beat you. Go play the bowl game, go get a payout, and get ready for next year. Y'all messed that up. No
Yeah.
one in the committee messed it up. No one in the NCAA messed it up. You messed it up, Notre Dame, when you lost to Texas. When you lost a 13-point lead to Texas A&M, and on top of that, you allowed them to walk off. Oh, here's the kicker: you lost at home.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you mentioned it yourself, losing to the Hurricanes. These are two teams that are in, and you
Mm-hmm.
lost to them. So it ain't
Yep.
that hard to figure out. One thing I've also learned is American college football pundits don't like to put their balls on the table, as I like to say, is the phrase on this show, on a prediction. So I'm not going to say, I don't know how far, but do you have an inkling who might be playing in Hard Rock Stadium in January in the Natty?
I'll tell you, one of those teams to look for is Indiana.
Yeah. Yeah.
Indiana has come out of nowhere. In fact, I'll go ahead and say it. Don't be surprised if there is a rematch on the way to the national championship. Don't be surprised if Indiana and Ohio State tangle again. And one of those two gets the spot in the national championship game. But one of the teams I'm picking to go all the way to Hard Rock Stadium is Indiana. I love
You're
what
talking
they're
about rematch.
I
Rematch of
love their
Hoosiers. Are you talking
Hoosiers
about
Buckeyes.
Hoosiers Buckeyes? Yeah. Okay.
Indiana, Ohio State. I think Indiana, Ohio State will tangle again. It'll either be for the national championship or on their way to the national championship, and more than likely it's going to be on their way to the national title game. But do not be surprised if Julian Super Saiyan and Fernando Mendoza lock horns again. Do not be surprised.
Oh my God, 2 minutes. What are you talking about? It goes too long, too fast with Snowman. Jeremy says, what about Bama losing 3 times? Well, I would say, who did they lose to and by how much? Because as we know, this all factors into
Alabama
it.
played their way in. They beat Georgia in Athens, and then Georgia beat them in Atlanta. Okay? Who did Alabama lose to? They lost to a team that they're going to play next Friday night. They lost to Oklahoma also. So Bama plays in the toughest conference in the nation. Let's go ahead and say it. They play in the SEC, where you don't get a week off. All right, doesn't matter who you're playing. They lost 3 times. All of them were close. Okay, and then you play in a conference championship. So Alabama deserved to get in anyway.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, quickly, we have less than a minute, says, we get 30 seconds. Who's the best team in the NFL? He thinks it's the Rams.
No. Nope. I ain't buying it. I'd like to think it's the Rams, but the best team right now in the NFL, I'm going to surprise everybody by saying this, it's a tie. And they're both in the AFC, Broncos and Patriots. I would like to say I like that. Look, the Rams are one of the best in the NFC, period. We've talked about them already. The Rams are one of the best in the NFC. But right now, it's the Broncos and the Patriots.
Well, look at the standings, and it would concur with you. Snowman, you're the best. Let's do it again. Merry Christmas. Say hey to Jody for me.
I will. Thank you, Rod. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you very much.
We'll be coming right back. The Snowman, WQVZ Radio. We'll be coming right back with a sports update and viewer takeover on the Silver State Sports Entertainment Network and Game Plus.